The Ferro rod, it's the emergency fire starting device of professional survivalists, bushcrafters. Well, it's just an awesome fire starting device. But what it can make it more awesome is a few tips and tricks, techniques, even ways to fix it up if it just doesn't seem to be operating right. And that's what I'm going to show you today. A whole bunch of good stuff. So stay tuned. Now when it comes to the Ferro rod, there's really nothing you need to do. Just take it out of the package and start using it. But if you want to make it just a little bit better, you can literally upgrade it. It's very simple, very easy, and I highly recommend it. And for this upgrade, we're going to take 1-inch duct tape and wrap it around the top of our Ferro rod. To begin, it offers a handle. It gives us more real estate to hold on. So in wet, cold, slippery conditions, we can hold on to that Ferro rod a little bit better with that duct tape in place. It also offers a first aid item, so any kind of cuts or scrapes that need to be bandaged up, you can take this tape right off your Ferro rod and tape up yourself in a first aid situation. Plus it offers repair. We can repair just about anything we need to with duct tape, at least until we can go and get it professionally fixed. But the best part of it is that it's a fire extender. It's like carrying tinder with you that you don't even know you have with you. It's just always there. So if you run out of all your other fire starters or need something to extend that flame, duct tape will do the job. To begin, take some of the tape off your Ferro rod and then begin to rip it into very small strips. Once all your small strips are collected, you can go ahead and begin your process of pumping your Ferro rod down into your bundle. As that bundle begins to burn, slowly manipulate it and allow that fire room to breathe. And then you have yourself a fire starter right on your ferrocerium rod. Now, least not forget that this Ferro rod has thousands of strikes. I mean, thousands of strikes. You can just keep wearing this thing down until it gets dead to the core, until there's nothing left. But that's also something that we need to keep in mind when making fire. Now, it's quite obvious that with a fast, pressureful strike, we're going to throw sparks off of this rod. But if we take our time and we put some pressure and go slow, we're going to remove material from this rod. And that's going to give us a more tremendous spark, a more tremendous amount of heat when we actually decide that we're going to scrape this rod. So with some short work, you can see all the scrapings that I just removed from the Ferro rod. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just place these in a small pile. At that point then, we can place our tinder source around that, and when we decide we're going to ignite it, rather than just having one little spark, now we had a hot, tremendous spark and actual flame. That's going to preheat and actually catch our tinder on fire that much more. Now, the Ferro rod just proves absolutely useless if we don't have a way to strike it. Lucky for us, Yuko makes this nice little striker. The thing to keep in mind with this striker is that it has a nice clip, so you can actually remove it, and then you can get a better grip on this. You don't have to worry about the string holding you up from not having a full stroke on the Ferro rod. Now, user beware, do not lay this down and forget it behind, because then you're going to be left with just this device and no way to strike it, unless you have some other things with you. A knife or a multi-tool is a great option for striking a ferrocerium rod, and sometimes it's even a better option than a striker, especially for smaller individuals who just don't have the strength in their hands to drive hard enough through that rod to throw some sparks. Now, when it comes to a knife, we never want to use the blade. That's a resource we don't want to destroy. So we want to make sure that our knife has a nice sharp spine on it. That's the backside behind the blade. That sharp spine works really well, and the knife itself gives a good handhold for most individuals to be able to hold on and drive with more pressure against that Ferro rod. But not every knife has a sharp 90-degree spine, and that's okay. Many individuals carry along a multi-tool with them, and a multi-tool is a great option for striking a Ferro rod. Just look through your multi-tool until you find the saw. Normally the saw blade has a very sharp 90-degree spine on the back. Just give it a feel. If it feels like it's sharp against your skin, there's a good chance that it's sharp enough to strike that Ferro rod. Now, after using your ferrocerium rod for some time, practicing with it, learning new techniques, having your friends try it out, you might notice that there's some bumps forming on the rod itself. In the bushcraft survival community, we refer to these as speed bumps. They happen when there's not consistent pressure across the rod. That means that you're either pushing too soft and then you get hard with it, or that you're pushing really hard and you're letting off the rod too soon. It's gonna create those small ripples, and over time, those ripples get worse and worse and worse. And then those bumps get so bad on the rod that you literally can't use the rod anymore. Well, you actually can, you just need to know how to repair it. It's a very simple process. You're gonna take your rod, you're gonna grab a file, and you're gonna have at it. If you're doing this, you wanna rotate the rod towards yourself and the file away from yourself. This is going to keep that nice round shape on the ferrocerium rod and start to remove those bumps. And last but not least, remember, this is one of the ultimate survival fire starters, but it does require some practice, and it requires you to go out and try different techniques with it. So make sure that you pack in your bag and just have a good time with it. Try different tinder sources, try natural materials, try man-made materials, try all different things, and see what works best for you. That's the only way you're gonna get good at this. Plus, with literally thousands of strikes, you just can't go wrong. So I hope you take some of these tips into consideration and apply them in your own situations when you're outside recreating, having a good time, and hopefully you're not in that survival situation. But if you are, this is gonna help you succeed. So this was Dan Wowak, UCO Ambassador. As always, check us out at ucogear.com for one of these fire strikers and all the other awesome gear that we have. And until the next video, stay lit.